Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Playable Worlds live stream. Yay! I've got a developer from Playable Worlds here with me, John Brown. John, say hello to the crowd.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Good. They need to be able to place your voice because some folks are just listening to the recording later. And then we also have with us Larrick Dax. Say good morning, Larrick. He's off screen.
Good morning, guys.
And we have Thomas.
Hello, I apologize if the animation was missing, but too many buttons to click.
Thomas and Larrick are in the background playing the game, running the stream, and clicking all of the buttons except for one, apparently. But
Which is
we have to
red,
tease him about it.
saying do not push this button, but I'm tempted so bad.
I wanted to tease him about Thursday, and he's a boomer today, but I shouldn't. That was his joke, though. He made it earlier today in a meeting. Shh. All right, I'll pick you up. The dog wanted to know who I'm talking to. Say hello. All right, so today we're going to interview John Brown and just catch up on various things happening in the game and a couple of announcements for you and one little giveaway, nothing too much. But let's start by talking to John here. John, so tell us what your position is and what you actually do in a given day.
Okay. So I'm an animator, in any given day. And I think I'm actually the only animator. On any given day, I play the game a bit, and I'm looking for things that I can fix on my own or improve on my own, without bothering engineers because we're so busy and they're so busy. I'm also working on, I spend a lot of time looking at, combat and melee and things like that because those are things that we're discussing, and how we're going to do it, how we're going to hook it up. A lot of the technical stuff. A lot of what I do is very technical because everything is so early in development. Later on in a game, when the game is, you're coasting, then you're looking at more, hey, what more can we add? But right now it's more like, what haven't we done yet that we need to add, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I do the same thing in terms of try not to bother the engineers too much. I'm trying to do marketing, but without interrupting anything I don't have to. But sometimes I have to ask them questions or get them to read something and make sure I'm not technically inaccurate or something.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Or try to do something impossible. Hey, can you make it do this? And they're like, oh God, that's 6 months of work.
Yeah. Surprised. So let's back up though a little bit. How did you first hear about Playable Worlds? Back in the day.
Playable Worlds. Actually, so a friend of mine in the games industry, I was taking a break actually from the game. I had worked at ZeniMax Online, and that was fun. But it was in Maryland, and I'm in I'm everything I know is in California. And so I decided, I love Maryland, but I want to move back to California. So I left ZeniMax and came back here, and I was kind of taking a break and just thinking like, what kind of game do I want to work on? What do I want to do? And most of my experience was in sandbox games like The Sims. I spent many years on The Sims, and that's kind of what I know. Just happened to, a friend of mine was bugging me about, oh, you should go Meta, they're hiring. And I thought, no, I don't feel like setting up, but I put a resume together and I started thinking about it. And then just one day I was looking at LinkedIn and I saw the ad they said Sandbox MMO. And I'm like, wow, I just got finished working on an MMO. I have sandbox experience. That seems like something I should apply to. So I applied, and it right away it just seemed like a perfect fit for my
Amen.
background. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's how it happened.
exactly. And roughly when was that?
Gosh, 2021.
Holy cow. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Um, what are some cool things that testers have experienced in the game that you worked on? What are some animations they would have seen? Actually, probably most of them were
Yeah,
yours.
well, I mean,
All the
I mean,
monsters moving around, all the
yeah, I think what the one thing that I really liked that, well, the reason I like it is because we weren't even sure we were going to do it, but the flying around with the jetpack, the grav pack,
yeah,
um, for such a long time. Because when I came to the project, there was already an animator who had been here, and they just put placeholder stuff in it. And I still consider all the animation in the game unpolished. It's we have a lot of work to do to get it up to like a
yeah,
level of capable quality. But we were talking about, and so the character, when he would grab pack, they just go into this weird sort of static pose, and the designers are like, well, it's working, it looks fine. And I was just like, it was killing me. I was like, oh my God, I can't stand that. And so I, went and played around with, blend trees and Unity, and tried to make flying or with the grab pack look more interesting. And I showed a little demo, and they're like, oh, that's great, let's do that. And so that I that started the my ability to be able to add more to flying. Then I started adding them, changing their pose when they go from side to side. And so that was something that wasn't really designed, but because I kind of pushed it, and I experimented with it and got people excited about it, it was something that I was pretty happy to get in there. Um,
people love jetting around with the grav mesh. We call it a grav mesh now.
yeah,
It's on its fifth name or something since
yeah. I
I
mean,
first encountered it. But
one of the challenges I think we have with a game like what we have is that from the design point, they're like, we want the character to be able to do everything everywhere all the time in this world that's changing, that the player can change underneath their feet. And the complexity of that is pretty deep, and it's something that actually we did on The Sims, where the players could pause the game, move the furniture around, and then unpause it, and then the animation would have to figure out how to interact with the stuff that had been moved around. And
yep.
so that's way more complicated than most people probably think about. You don't really think about the details, but it's very, very complicated. So being able to do that in a game like this is pretty spectacular. We have the ability to move things underneath the player's feet or the character's feet, and then have the character adapt to that new environment. So it just makes the world feel a lot more complete.
Amen. The games we have worked on in the past affect us and affect our perception of this new game we're working on. This is human nature. Can you tell us about some of the games you've worked on in the past?
Yeah, sure. Well, the very first game that I worked on um, was one called Pantheon, and it never shipped. But it was actually, no, that's not right. The very first game that I worked on was with a Russian company called Animatek, and Animatek was partly owned by uh, um, Alexander Pajitov, if you know who that he is, and from the Tetris. And so what I was doing was, it was a game that was supposed to take place in a futuristic world, and all the vehicles were on rails, and you go around on these rails and you shoot monsters on the rails that are trying to knock you off the rails. So that was the very first one. Then I went on. So that kind of had a sci-fi background. So I got to. At the time, I was I was doing industrial design, so I got to design all these cool robots and cool, vehicles and creatures and stuff like that. And we would send those via modem to Russia, and then they would make them in Russia using 3D Studio. This is going way back, a million years ago. Then I worked on one called Pantheon, which had to do with Greek gods and stuff like that. And then then I worked on that's when I joined EA, and I worked on a World War II fighters game and a NASCAR game, and then it was The Sims for the next 18 years.
Nice.
And then ZeniMax Online, and that was really cool because I loved WoW and I loved EverQuest, and so getting to see how these games operated from the inside out was really cool. Learn about how they built economies, and one of the things that was really blew my mind was how active the player communities were, and how like any little change in the way they have the online the in-game store value system, and any little change in the currency has ripples throughout the entire everybody that plays the game. And it was really interesting to see that they try to do little changes, and then people would be like, "What have you done? You ruined the game!" And then be like, "Okay, we changed it back. We changed it." So it was really interesting. But seeing that vibrant user community was really cool. Really, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little bit distracted by your background there.
Sure. That represents.
Tell us about your collection.
30 years of toy collecting. Yeah. Yeah.
30
Well,
years.
all because of games. Like when I started working at EA, there were a bunch of people that collected, figures, and I always, when I was a kid, I loved them, but they got me hooked. Because we started, they started making characters that were from video games. So like Metal Gear Solid and Deus Ex and all these other games that I loved, and they'd make figures of them, and every time they come out I'd be like, "Oh, I've got to get that one, I've got to get that one." And before I knew it, I had a wall full of figures. I've slowed down quite a bit, but yeah, there's a lot of different mostly Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Star Wars, some obscure
Basics.
Japanese anime, some Japanese cinema. I'm a big fan of Hayao Miyazaki, that kind of stuff. Very
nice, very nice. Well, for today's giveaway, we're going to give away one of the items on your shelf. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. A little later in the show, we'll do a giveaway, but we're going to give away one of the little Discord visual packs. It's the one we're going to do is the Cyber Samurai bundle. Why don't we just go ahead and set it up now? Thomas, would you mind pressing the button to set that up? And tell us when it's okay, and I'll tell him what to type.
It will take a minute. Okay, one. Okay.
Okay? When you're ready, you tell him what to type. It's up? Okay.
Yeah, I love to check about
when
this
you're
stuff.
ready, just type the word star, STAR, in chat. No exclamation point, right?
No,
Thomas, that's just
star.
the claim. Okay, star, STAR.
Like
if you type that, you will be entered into the giveaway. Thank you. One thing to warn you about, in order to claim your prize, you got two things. One is you have to friend me on Discord, which is easy. My name's Carneros. But you also need to type a /claim, an exclamation point claim if you win. But don't worry about it now. Just typing star. But yeah, I'm Carneros. And you'll have to friend me on Discord for me to be able to deliver it to you. Not a big deal. I promise I'll behave. Okay. While this is going in the background, Again, just type a star, just STAR. We'll keep going here. So what are you working on this week?
This week, I'm working on Melee stuff
Nice. Nice.
and it's still very early, still
I
very
did not know you
experimental.
were working on this. Okay,
Huh?
cool.
It's
I
all
did
very
not know.
yeah. It's all very experimental, and it's we're it's just something that we're playing around with. So that's mainly what I'm working on. And there's other stuff. I don't know how much stuff. I mean, there's stuff that I'm doing with right now the character can only crouch and do very limited things. So we're looking at how can we expand what they can do while they're crouched, because we want to be able to, every little thing that we are, that the character is allowed to in the game, we want to allow as many things as possible. So when they're
Right.
crouched, we want to be able to sneak around, want to be able to pull out your weapons, pull out your tools, do whatever, those kinds of things. And those are just things that there's a lot of planning and thinking that has to go into that before we start making stuff.
Yep. Maybe even be able to do both, crouch and do melee at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk to design, I mean that's they want everything, everything, and they want it yesterday. So
Exactly.
we have to decide
Exactly.
what can we do.
All right. And then everything will have sound implications, right, Kurt? Just teasing.
Absolutely.
And then okay. So we're getting close to shifting our mode here for these playtests from specific playtests to 24/7 server uptime. Come and log in and play when you can. But then log off and go to sleep or go to work when you have to. We're going toward that phase. What is something you need to still get done from your job before we shift to 24/7 mode?
I think for me, it's to make sure that everything that everything that is going to be seen in the game is at a level that I won't die if I see it show up on a screenshot somewhere. So it's really just making sure all the bases are covered. Like when the player tries to do everything that they can do in the game, that there's nothing that's placeholder. There's nothing that's even less than placeholder, like static poses or frozen poses or things like that. So that the flow of the game is very fluid and very it feels complete. So those are the kinds of things that the experience, to make sure the experience from an animation or visual sense feels complete. Those are the kinds of things that I'm going to be doing.
Nice. All right. Yeah, we don't want any of the artists to cry when we have articles out there. Yeah, I agree. Okay, while we're on the theme of stuff still coming in the future, what is something you have not had a chance to work on yet, but you hope to be able to work on in 2026, like next year?
Well, I think right now, all the characters use the same animation set. So that means that the Squatchy, the Gurdon, the human, everybody, they all use the same animations, and then we have this really fancy thing where we can retarget the animations to the different sizes. But what I really want to do is make unique animation sets for the different species, so that if you're playing a Squatchy, you don't just run like a human. You run like big heavy runny, and give the when they're idling around or whenever they're doing things in the world. I'd like to give each species a very unique flavor to the way they move, rather than just everybody using the same animations. And maybe not everything, but at least run the way they run, the way they walk, the way they interact. Maybe the emotes. There might be specific emotes that, if you're a Squatchy, you only get the grumpy, something or other, stomp your feet emote. But if you're human, maybe you get only a specific type of emote. Those kinds of things to really kind of add more variety and flavor to the different species in the way they move. That's something I really like to do.
Gotcha. That sounds like a lot of work for you and your entire staff of 10 animators that you don't have yet. But
Yeah.
but
It is a lot of work. I have my ways.
okay. All right. But it'll be cool. But wow. All right. That was not the answer I expected from you. Not that I had any expectation in mind. Okay. So, what are some of the tools you use the most in your job?
I'm Maya. Autodesk Maya is probably the tool that I'm in most of the time, and of course Unity. We use Unity. But other than that, Photoshop. Those are the development tools. Photoshop. Maya. That's mainly it for the development.
Yeah. If we have members of our audience, and we do, who have art skills, but are and an artist's eye, but they're not working in the games industry. Do you have any words for these people on possibilities that they might not know about, or advice for them?
You mean like
sorry?
if they want to get into games?
What are things they could do with those skills if they wanted to apply them professionally somewhere?
Oh, I see.
Or would you steer them away from coming to games at all?
No.
Maybe it's kind of a sucky time.
Well, I think the game industry goes in waves, like there's a hot thing, everybody does it, and then everybody gets used to it, and then it just sort of fades away. And right now I feel like we're sort of waiting for what the next ramp up is going to be, and nobody really knows what it is. But I think in general, everybody has the capacity to do really great art and really animation, all that kind of stuff. It's all a matter of interest and the amount of time you put into it. And there's always a way, like, I don't think and now there's free software, like Blender is free, and Blender, you can pretty much make an entire game and movie with Blender. So, and there's so many outlets now. There's social media, YouTube, blah blah blah, all the different ways of getting your work out there. So, I would say that if you're a creative person and you want to show your stuff, do tutorials on YouTube. Look at and don't worry about what anybody thinks. Look for the stuff that you like. Do the stuff that you like, because if you like it, there's probably millions of people that also like it. So rather than just say, oh, I don't think I'll ever be good enough, who cares? Just focus on what you like and do what you like, and somebody else will like it, I guarantee you.
Very good point. I like it. Okay. The current game, and what is something visual that you think we should upgrade about the current game?
Well, I mean, I can speak to the animation and some of the things that I want to improve, and
Doesn't have to be animation, anything.
Oh, anything?
Yeah.
I think there's things like where the trees intersect, the trees and the bushes intersect the ground. I think we could do a lot to blend that in a little bit better, so it feels more
Yeah.
organic and more continuous.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be nice to have remnants of old civilizations sort of half buried somewhere, or hints at what the old ones left behind.
Yeah.
What I really what I like about games when I play games is when I see things in the world, my imagination starts going, and I wonder, like, what is that? What's the story of that thing? What was that used for?
Yep.
Where did it come from? And I'd like to see more of that in our game, because I think that mystery and that um, it builds. When you start to have questions in your, it inspires your creativity when you think, like, what is that? Where did that come from? Who made that? What does that connect to? Those kinds of things. Like, if we had things that you found on one planet, and then you go to another planet and you found something that was similar to the thing that you found on another planet, you start
Yeah.
to wonder, like, is that connected? Is there a story there? What's going on
Yeah.
there? Those kinds of things I think would be really cool. I'd also see
And
a
yeah.
lot more creatures. Like, we have a
Yes.
very limited set of creatures and a very limited set of animations for the creatures. So I'd like to see big boss, like the big bosses with their own animation sets, like big attacks, big stomp, big ball hogs stomping around, you know,
Yep.
if a whole bunch of players went and tried to attack the giant ball hog, that it has its own special attacks, and that it's gonna one hit you if you're not careful, and you need a group to take it down, like that kind of stuff. Those are some things.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The dog just gets curious because I'm talking to someone he doesn't know who. So every now and then he comes over and says, "Pick me up." So I pick him up. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay. And when you play games, what are the kind of games you like to play?
Well, I like MMOs a lot. I play
Me too.
WoW. I play Final Fantasy. But I also like the Souls games. I'm a big fan of Elden Ring, and all of the Souls series. But I also like very story-driven games. Like, I played the Indiana Jones game, which I thought was very good.
Nice.
I like I played Minecraft for a while. And Valheim. I thought that was a really good, sort of survival type game. I also like. Let's see, what are other games? I have to look at my Steam library and see what I've been playing. I also like simple, mobile type games that are very, low res graphics, but just really strong gameplay. So I can't think of any. Like, I liked Sneaky Sasquatch. I thought that was a really brilliant,
Nice.
simple, fun game. It feels kind of like a sandbox, feels like an open world, but
That's the company that Apple just bought.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
That was
a two-man company, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I love games that don't get lost in the weeds, and they focus on, just really good gameplay and really good, they sort of figured out what their loop is, and it's rewarding, and you just, you feel like you're achieving something.
You can't hear the dogs in my background, can you?
I can hear the dog. No, I know.
Okay, good. Because they just decided to play wrestle and sound really ferocious. But the mic is the kind that is pointed right at me. So hopefully they're not hearing
Oh, I-
this ambient.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Um, all right, very, very good. Thomas and Larrick, if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to chime in too and ask them of John. They have microphones. They're backstage, but they have.
We do have microphones.
Yeah. Hmm. Good question. If I have questions, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Okay, good. How are we in the giveaway? Is there still time to join? Should I
Yeah,
say last call?
we can.
All
I
right.
mean,
If
like,
you want to join, it's
yeah.
only one per person, and you must be present to win. Just type STAR star in chat, and you enter the giveaway.
I
Okay.
think that we are ready to go.
Well, let's give it away. Let's give it away.
So let's
Oh, good. We got
close.
one in at the last minute.
Some late entries.
Yay.
Wow, just literally last second before I clicked lock. Yeah,
Perfect.
that was close. Okay. Let's throw.
Guard, you got in by the skin of your teeth, bro. All right, let's see here. And Dazzle Sunstrider, you win. Dazzle, friend me on, log into Discord. You're already there, I know it. Friend me on Discord, Dazzle. Yay. One second, one second, one second. I see something. Nope, nope, nope. Dazzle, did you send me anything yet? You're working on it. All right, no problem. Use the sound, Luke. Kurt. Kurt, you're so funny. Wait, wait, wait. Yay, Dazzle. Okay, got it. Here goes nothing. Do, 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 do.
Is it normal for the like water and lava to do this?
They definitely seem different this build. I don't know what's going on.
Seems like everything is slippery.
Yeah. All right, that didn't work. Let me try something else. I'm still working on this. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Who's on the stream there? Is that Thomas in the skirt?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, that's Thomas.
Okay.
Why? What did I do wrong now? Tell me. I did not
I just
die
like
as
to-
usual.
I just like to tease you.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I get it's working. Pretty well, I would like to say.
All right, hang on, hang on.
John, I have a question for you, off topic. Have you ever played, well, PS2 games, PlayStation 2 games? John?
I don't know if John can hear you. John, you got to hear him.
Did I mute myself? Is that what I did? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, probably.
Okay.
All right. Yes. Sorry. Yes, I have played PS2 games, and I worked on a PS2 game
Oh,
on
please
the
tell me.
launch title for the PS2, which was a NASCAR game.
Oh.
That's so cool.
Maybe I played the
One of the first
demo.
Sorry.
Probably I played a demo because back in the days, Blockbuster was selling like DVDs with 30 playtests for different games.
Sure.
So probably I played that there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was an interesting thing because the team that made that game had previously worked on a World War II flying simulator game. So everything that they did was very realistic. They made in the World War II game, they made the airplanes look exactly like the ones from World War II, and the environments look exactly like World War II Europe and all that kind of stuff. So then when they went to make a NASCAR game, they made everything look exactly like the NASCAR cars, exactly like the tracks, exactly. And the NASCAR's like, that looks pretty real. They wanted it to be a little bit more, gamey. But it was interesting because everything was very accurate, like going around the drift that the cars could do, the acceleration and deceleration was all very accurate. But it's funny because accuracy doesn't always make the best gameplay experience, if you know what I mean.
That's true. That is true. All right. Dazzle has his prizes. And we're in good shape now. I'm going to try to do something like that each time. We need more giveaways, but again, we can't go pick on the engineers too much.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best we can. But those are fun. All right. Yeah, you're exploring someone's homestead there, someone's build.
I'm very impressed. It looks really cool.
Yeah. Someone put a
Yeah.
lot of effort in.
Yeah.
This is the city gunk belt. They call it mycelium because it looks like a mushroom.
Oh, it's mycelium on the top of the giant mushroom. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Some of the flora, I think, died off in the last update.
Yeah, there's a lot happening to the flora right now.
That's a dance.
Yeah. Hang on to your rhododendrons, people, because there's going to be some surprises coming on flora. Yeah, lots going on. Sometimes I gotta fix my camera. Sometimes the game doesn't advance at a steady state all the way across. So sometimes there's a jump here or a jump there, and then other things suddenly obviously need to get fixed. We have some of that coming up in front of us. It'll be really good. Actually, I want to take a moment to talk about playtesting, because playtesting is about to go through a bit of a shift. First of all, we're not talking about this week. This week, the playtest schedule is in the events module in Discord. You can go up and click in events on your phone or on your PC, and it will tell you the time of all the playtests in your local time. It calculates it automatically. But we have some changes coming for next week. Next week is a short work week in the US because of the Independence Day holiday on July 4th. So we're going to give the staff the weekend off. So 4th of July, 5th and 6th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to give the staff a holiday. So we're not going to run any play tests during it. But we still need to get ready for 24/7 operation. And that means we need to do some longer play tests to get ready for that. Oh, thanks, Dazzle. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 long play tests on Tuesday, July 1st and Thursday, July 3rd. And when I say long, I mean long. So the play test on Tuesday is 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific. So that's a 14-hour test. That is still not going to work for some people, but it will work for more people than you might think. Yeah, if the ice ray hits you, you're going to be frozen for a second, folks. Although you can use the shields and such.
What are those lights in that building? It's like neon
I
clad.
don't know how that person did that.
I think
No.
they just stacked a lot of them over and over.
That is
Wow.
some FPS intense testing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely laggy.
yeah.
Seeing you walk around in the water there reminded me that that's the next thing I really want to add is swimming, because it drives me crazy when they walk into the water and they just walk into the water.
That'll be so amazing. I know everyone's excited for swimming.
Yeah,
Thomas,
I
did
mean,
you land
think
on
I
your
think-
face?
What's that?
Did you land on your face? Oh,
Oh.
Thomas.
No, that's Lyric this time, okay? That's
That
Lyric.
was me.
I'm
Yeah,
switching.
I
When
died.
something bad
Lyric.
happens, I'm switching to Lyric. That's why you're not seeing me.
I think it opens up a whole thing about underwater cities, underwater structures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that seems amazing. I love underwater stuff.
Yes.
I have a comment about
So not
Anything
a
swimming.
built underwater is automatically 20% more exciting.
Absolutely.
True.
Like GTA 5, I hate swimming. Like the mechanics, control mechanics, are probably the worst I've ever played. So please don't do like GTA 5. It's counterintuitive. It's like flying a plane upside down. It's all the opposite.
Yeah, this you're doing ice sliding. I just added more to ice sliding, so now you do like a speed up and slow down. So I don't know when you guys get new builds, but it'll look a lot better than this.
That'll be cool. It'll add some weight to the experience.
Yeah.
It's really fun already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's endless things that we could keep doing to make it look more immersive.
Okay, I have to read something off chat to John because I don't know if he can see that. We have a request from the audience for dog paddling swimming animations.
Okay,
If you can do that.
dog paddling.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that.
If necessary, I'll get one of my dogs in the water somewhere.
Yeah, I know it's on the list. It's on the list.
All right.
Yeah, I guess in general, I'm looking for just trying to make it feel more immersive. You know, more like you're really in this world. And I would love, like, now if you're going up into cold area, I would love it if they, if you're not doing anything, you start to shiver. You go like this, play their idle animation, they just shiver. Something like that to make it feel like they're responding to the environment.
That'll be way more immersive. I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking good.
That's a beautiful sunrise or sunset.
On this red planet.
That's me now. As you can see, I'm about to die.
Oh, don't die.
They
You're being
love me.
chased.
Yeah.
No.
And they're shielded.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh, you're doomed. Oh, good job. Good job. Run for the portal, Luke.
I'm just gonna grab some water. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
yeah, go ahead. That's okay. All right, we're running low on time, but that's okay. We're having fun. It's been a busy morning already here. Ooh, here at Playable Worlds. You escaped. You escaped.
I
You got
had
through the portal.
to. And I switched
And
to
then
Lyric like immediately.
switch to Lyric. Yep. Okay. See, this is the benefit of having two people playing the game ready for the live stream. I appreciate both of you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
A lot of streamers can like play their game and talk at the same time, but it impacts my performance. So I'd rather just talk while y'all play.
Yeah, it's
In the distance,
definitely.
you can see the mushroom city of the of Gunk. Stop and look over toward it. Yeah, see it on that big stem, that platform in the sky? That's
It's
what Gunk built. They built that whole thing.
That's super cool.
and it's
Yeah.
raining cosmic rays on it.
Wow. How cool. But it's tough enough to take a few cosmic rain rays. Yeah. Very cool. This is going to be a very creative game when it launches. There
Mhm.
will be amazing things to check out that will exceed our expectations.
Yeah. Another thing that will be coming eventually is facial animation and facial expression. So,
Nice.
right, there's just me, so I'm working on it.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the changes that are coming up. I've seen some things in internal playtests that make me excited about the future.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
endless.
All right. So coming up, I don't know who our guest is yet for next Thursday. I have to ask someone, but we'll do another live stream this time next Thursday. And then again, we're going to announce 2 long play tests for next week on Tuesday and Thursday, 14-hour play tests, and those will be exciting. We're going to see how it does. Actually, what we might do next Thursday is have a conversation about how those longer play tests are going and lessons we learned from them. That might be what we do next Thursday, even though that will be in the middle of one of the tests. And thank you all for joining us today. John, thank you for taking a break from your work and
My pleasure.
coming and meeting us. Thomas and Larrick, thank you for taking a break from your stuff and joining us as well. I appreciate it. Thomas, thank you for taking this recording and getting it ready for YouTube. I appreciate that too.
And for
Thank you all the
pressing
people who
the wrong
entered the
buttons.
giveaway. And hitting all the buttons in a fun way. We'll call it that instead. Thank you. And now let's go ahead and let people go so John can go join his next meeting. Got a couple minutes to get ready.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day and happy playtesting.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.